Yo, my people, first things first, just want to say Happy New Year. Many blessings and all them things there. And secondly, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. It's very much appreciated. I don't really want to say too much for the intro. I just want to kind of get straight into the video, but I also just want to mention that I would really appreciate it if you can like, subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely leave a comment down below, as this is the first episode for my podcast that I'm starting now in 2024. And I would really appreciate all the criticism, everything that you think I've done well, everything you think I need to improve on. Give me all the feedback. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to make this a long intro. I don't want to say too much. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoy the video. Blessings. Alright, so first things first, I just want to thank you for coming on.
That's cool,
appreciate
man.
it, my brother.
It's what we do. It's what
Appreciate
I do.
ya. Come on, bro. Out here working as always. You know how we do. Trust me, bro.
Daily.
First thing that I want to get into is who is Kwinten? Because obviously I know you. I've known you for like a long while now. I think I've known you for like a good 5 years or so.
Like 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, innit?
Counting.
That's it. So I know who you are.
Yeah,
but for the people that don't, give them a little background as to who Kwinten is.
Who is Kwinten? Kwinten is a cool, humble dude. Always working, always grinded, and always gives the realness.
Nice.
I think that's where we were very compatible.
Nice.
And I said to you from the beginning, I just like to be real all the time. You might not want to hear it, or do you know what I mean? But I just said, listen, this is what I think, and this is what I think. That's it. There's no, I'm going to beat you around the bush, send you around the houses, as they say, or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, this is the thing, this is the facts, this is what I think, and that's it. Because life is easier that way. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I think when you just say things as it is up front. Yeah, love fitness, health and fitness. That's part of my life now, as you know. Pretty much do that all the time. Time goes by fast, creeps by fast. So now I've made it into a lifestyle.
Okay.
Into a habit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We wake up every day. We drink water every day. We have something to eat every day. You brush your teeth every day. You have a shower every day. You got to look after your body every day. Do you know what I mean? So I made it into a nice cycle. So I spend a lot of time dedicating to that now as well, which is tiring, as you can probably see.
Yeah, I know. That's why I appreciate you coming today, because obviously it's late hours. And but
the hustle continues.
Amen.
The grind continues. Time doesn't wait for anybody. So at the end of the day, that's what sleep is there for.
Exactly.
You go to bed, you actually go to bed.
Exactly.
You don't just lay there, stared at the ceiling,
That's
scrolling through. When I hit the bed now, I am so grateful for bedtime. I swear down.
How many hours do you get?
Do you know what? I'm trying to be more disciplined, which is why I'm probably like, yeah, do you know what? I need to be because I've been doing 5-6 hours for a sustained period of time, and it's been finishing me off nicely.
Really?
Yeah, struggling badly. And I can feel like my performance dips during the day because I'm just tired. Sometimes I'm getting to the point where I have to... I never used to take naps. Yeah. And now I'm finding like a little half an hour here.
I love a good nap.
Yeah,
I love a good nap.
A little hour there, and I'm just like, yeah, do you know what? Let me just go for a little snooze. I never used to take naps. So
really?
I'm just like, yeah, something's not right. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fueling my body properly. I'm not giving it sufficient energy. So I'm just like, yeah, I need to find ways now where I'm just like, yeah, you need to be more disciplined with your bedtime. I read somewhere, I can't remember where, so don't quote me on this, that if you don't get sufficient sleep, so if you're sleep deprived, your performance goes down by 40%.
Really?
40%. So if you think you're productive now, if you get a good... Obviously, everyone's sleep pattern's different. Everyone requires different amounts of sleep. Yeah. So I'm not even going to say a number, because I know everyone's like, oh, you need 8 hours sleep. You don't know that. Yeah. But you need enough sleep for yourself. Then you'll see what you're like at optimal. So I feel like I'm not even reaching my optimal because I'm always tired. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting as well. I thought, okay, cool.
How many hours do you think you need to be at your best?
I think for me, I need to see what 7's like.
Okay.
And if I'm still tired, I'm going to find 8. Problem I have with 8, when you're a workaholic, because I know you're a workaholic as well, you can't find 8 hours of sleep. That's a lot of sleep. Do you know what I mean? And I've done a lot of sleeping in the past. I've had my lazy days when I was a teenager, you know, go to bed late, wake up at 2 p.m. So I feel like I've had enough of that laziness. So trying to find 8 hours sleep, I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, nah, you shouldn't be sleeping in that long. That's a bit too long.
To add on to that, yeah, I feel guilty when I sleep in.
This
or
is
if I sleep for too long. I feel like if I sleep for more than 4 to 6 hours, then I'm just wasting my day.
Also, I think it was David Goggins. You saying that a third of your life you're sleeping.
I was just about to say that a third of your life you sleep.
You sleep.
So it's like, I don't want to be losing a third of my life to sleep. That's why I always have that mentality of, and I use this phrase quite often, but I'll say like, I can sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, and it's a well-known, that's what I'm saying, it's a well-known saying as well, because, you know, life is short.
That's
it. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's like, yeah, I know sleep is good for you because it's a general recovery every day, but really and truly, if you know, like a third of your life, that's a lot of time of sleeping. And, you know, I get it, you know, it's healthy, it's good for you, but if you're an ambitious person, you can't lay still and sleep all that time. Your mind is still ticking. And we've been there before. Of
course.
You go to bed, your ideas come at night time. You jump out of bed. You want to get on with your day. You don't want to be waiting. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I never used to do the whole early 5 a.m. starts, all that kind of stuff. If you told me that, 2-3 years ago, I'd be like, oh, it's a myth. What are you talking about? 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Crazy. Never get up at that time. But now, there's something about getting up and beating the sun for me, which is a little bit like, okay, I can get a head start. Every day I'm getting a head start. So I'm getting there, I'm getting my workout in, I'm getting my food in, I'm getting my day started early. So by the time it gets to 2-3 o'clock, I've done so many productive hours.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, I need to now find my sweet spot in terms of how much sleep I need and fueling my body properly in terms of food. So I can make it all the way through the day without slumping.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So today I've done really well. I didn't have that sleepy kind of feeling.
Okay.
Then again, do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? It's been a busy weekend as well. So I did a lot of sleeping yesterday. So that might disrupt the pattern. But by Thursday, Friday, I'll see what I'm like. If it's really working.
Do you feel like your diet plays a big part as well? Because I know you're quite picky on like what you eat and what goes into your body as well. So
I say it's a massive part of how you feel, your energy levels, your productivity levels, your sleep pattern, your even just that you don't get any peaks and troughs. You don't have any like sugar boost, and then all of a sudden you come back down again and you peak up. So it's much more mellow and you're more consistent. Because obviously back in the day, I used to, sugar, cakes, biscuits. I still have it now. I'm not going to say I don't have it, but it's a lot more reduced. And I'm a lot more aware of it as well. So I'm more like, okay, I had a lot of sugar at the weekend. Okay. So, do you know what I mean? I'm just like,
you're saying you were eating a lot of cake.
Yeah, a lot of cake. I had a lot of cake. So let me behave myself today. And do you know what I mean? So I'm a lot more conscious in terms of, okay, you're only letting yourself down. You're not fooling anybody else. It's your body. You do what you please with it. And at the end of the day, just be happy with whatever you do. If you want to eat like that, be happy about it. But if you want to do something about it, you want to change it, then change it. It's hard.
I'm sure we've said it before, but it's like you are the master of your own mind, so you can't allow your mind to control you. You have to control it.
Absolutely.
Like that's literally the only thing in this world that you can control.
And it's yours.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say. It's your mindset. It's your CPU system. And you are in control of your computer. You switch it on, you switch it off. You have to charge it up. You need to put it rest. It's going to overheat. And it hits that red bar and it starts stuttering. And so you need to stay in control of it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's when I started to realize to myself, do you know what? I need to get more in control of my mind. Because sometimes I feel like, I'm just letting things go. And I'm not really grasping everything that's going on with it. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Maybe let's give it a little bit more sleep. Let's change the food and see if that helps it a little bit as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's little things that I've noticed that does help it to a degree where I'm just like, I'm a little bit more better performance here. And now I'm just like, I think sleep, I've been deprived of sleep for a little while now. Because when I do get a nice little bit of sleep in, got a little bit of sleep over the weekend, today is the first day in a long time I didn't feel like, I need to have a little lie down at 1 o'clock.
I hear that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or 2 o'clock, I'm just going to lay down. Or just feeling like just tired, exhausted. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't really feel like being engaged in or social or anything. You're just kind of just like, just going through the emotions. So now I'm just like, okay, let's see what 7 hours does. Let's try and be a bit more disciplined, put the phone down, turn it upside down, or put it on airplane mode, or put it in emergency mode. So someone has to call you 2-3 times before it's like, okay, this is an important phone call.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look at it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But if
Of
it's a
course.
general, you know, someone's have a chit chat or whatever, it's like, okay, cool. Chit chats are fine, but let's be, you know, let's be
Let's
organized.
make it constructive
Let's be
or productive.
Right, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because time is short. You know,
That's
like
it.
think how quick today went.
Yeah, no, today went very fast.
If you used to run through your day
yeah.
from start to finish, from when you woke up to now,
It's been quite a short day, I must say.
This is what I'm trying to say. And what time did you get up today, roughly?
Like, well, my body will wake me up naturally around 7, 8.
See, that's a good natural time as well. That's a
Yeah.
decent natural time. So naturally, around 7 or 8, your body's awake. Even if you're not up yet, you're physically awake. Your mind is up and ready. So it's probably well over 12 hours now. You see what I'm saying?
True.
12 gone.
Yeah.
So imagine getting out of bed 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Like, do you know what I mean? Your day is running away from you, and all of
Your
a sudden
day's gone.
you're playing catch up.
Your
This is
day's
what I started
gone.
to realize. I was playing catch up. I'm trying to keep. Got to do this today. Got to do that. Got to do this. Got to do this. And before you get to the end of your day, and it's like, right, let me get something that I want to do, maybe, or some other stuff that I might not have done before that I might include now. Hey, you're ready for bed.
Yeah.
You're tired. So I mean, your body's shutting down, and you're just there, like, do you know what I mean? You're looking at the screen half-heartedly, or you're writing down notes in your notepad or whatever you're doing. You're just kind of just going through the emotions, and you're ready for bed. And then it's the same cycle again. So now you're thinking, I need to beat the clock.
Yeah.
I need to, do you know what I mean? I need to get
You're gonna sit there trying to think of ways like how can I beat the clock?
and that's what you're trying to do. Okay, let me go to bed earlier. Let me get a bit more sleep in. Let me cut down this habit that I shouldn't be doing because I'm doing this too much. You know, procrastination is real. We talked about this already, but how can you chop out certain things that are not needed in your day? Sacrifices.
We said that earlier
said
as
this
well. We
earlier,
said that in the car on the ride here.
This is what I'm saying. So these are the little things that we need to do. So that's what I'm trying to do, is fine tuning it down, because I'm just like, I'm tired, but it's a good time to be tired because I know that at some point soon I'm ready for bed. I used to struggle getting to sleep.
Really?
You see what I'm saying? I used to have this, it wasn't sleep paralysis, but it's more like just...
I've suffered from that. Sorry to cut you, but I've suffered from that terribly. I'm sure I've told you before.
Yeah.
Bro, I've got some stories about sleep paralysis, bro. I'm telling you, one day I woke up from sleep paralysis, and I could feel something tickling my chin and giggling. And then there was another time where I woke up in sleep paralysis and I could hear like a witch's incantation in my ear, bro.
This is what I'm
it
saying.
got real deep and scary for man. This was like when I was younger. I don't really get it much like I used to. I remember one time as well, bro, this one is crazy. This was really crazy, bro. So one time, I woke up and I used to sleep next to my laptop. So my laptop was pitch black, battery was gone. So laptop screen was pitch black, but the sun, because I would sleep with my windows open, innit? The blinds open. So the sun was shining in, and obviously I could see a reflection on the laptop screen, Something is just walking around my room with a tail. Bro, it was scary, fam. Bro.
Especially when your mind is just about trying to recognize what is going on in this room.
And when I tell you that sleep paralysis thing is no joke.
Nah, it's not funny. It's not funny.
Bro.
Or the one where it sits on your chest and you can't move as well.
Bro.
I haven't experienced it too much.
Fam, but I'm not gonna lie though. I've experienced it so much in my life that I figured out a way to kind of will myself out of it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, there's been one time, where I've woken up. It's been like 7 a.m. So I've woken up now and I've fallen into sleep paralysis while being awake. Bro,
that's a crazy experience.
Bro,
that's a crazy experience.
And it's like I can feel myself falling into it as well. And the fear is taking over me in my head because of like what I've experienced with it. But I'm just like, I willed myself and I was like, just let it take you. You're going to get through this like all the other ones you have. And then you'll get out of it. And then, I got out of it fine. But I was like sweating after getting out of it. It was, it's real scary, man. It's not fun, bro.
It's not fun. And the thing is, you know what? And now we're talking about sleep. It's quite funny actually because when was the last time you had a nightmare? I can't actually remember the last time.
I had one the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, it was about zombie apocalypse.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last nightmare that I've had.
I have nightmares every so often.
So you say quite frequently you say you have nightmares.
I remember a lot of my dreams and my nightmares.
Because I can't remember. I haven't had a nightmare since probably like young teenage.
Really?
Yeah. I dream, but not that often.
Really?
So I don't really dream too often. So that also got me thinking, am I not getting enough sleep? Because dreams is a certain state. I was actually looking at this as well. I find this kind of interesting because it's different kind of like gamma rays and stuff and different type of REM sleeps and stuff. And it's like, if you're overly tired, all you do is hit the bed, you're out and you wake up again. And that's what I'm doing.
Wow.
So I'm just going, as soon as I'm getting to bed, I'm out. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready to sleep.
Yeah.
Whereas not getting into bed and my mind is, slowly winding down to the point where you start to go to the dream state.
Man.
So that's when I start to realize, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So I'm hitting the pillow. Once I'm in there and I'm wrapped up, gone until the morning comes.
Crazy. You don't remember any dreams that you have?
I'm telling you now, I'm trying to think of any dreams I've had recently in the last couple of
Bro, I can remember dreams not dreams. I can remember the nightmares that I had from when I was like 7, 8 years old.
I remember one nightmare I had.
Yeah, what was that one? Man's laughing already.
Do you know what? It was the scariest one I had. I remember, what was it? So I was at home, and again, there's another kind of apocalypse, which I think is interesting when you said that as well, because I think I don't know if that's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah. And
long story short, it was like, it was an invasion of like monkeys, apes, gorillas, primates. Bro, don't even ask. I can see your face. Don't even ask, bro. And it was literally to the point where we were literally trying to board up the house. There was obviously 5 of us in my family.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to board up the house. Obviously, me and my brother and sister were young at the time. And I remember my mum and dad trying to just sort everything out. Long story short, they got in, and I can't remember if it was my mum or my dad, but one of them sacrificed himself. And I remember one of them got thrown off the roof of the house.
What?
And I can't remember quite what happened at the end, but obviously then they all disappeared.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, and that's all I remember. And then I can't remember if they wake up or not. So I've always remembered that particular nightmare, which really was effed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that really shook me up. So I don't know if that trauma blocked out any more nightmares or any more kind of state of... So it was deep. It was mad deep. And I've never really spoken about it until now.
Really?
No, I never really spoke about it because... Yeah, and I just thought to myself,
do you ever like so it's like, do you ever go on Google and then research what your dreams mean?
I do.
Because I do that all the time. Every time I dream something that's weird and I'm like, what does this mean? Because I'll also have dreams of people that I know in day-to-day life. Yeah. Like I've had dreams of you before. Like I'm pretty sure before, I've told you about a dream and then it happened in real life.
Yeah,
and then I've said to you, I've been like, bro, remember I dreamed this and I told you about it.
Yeah.
See, I've got a theory, right? I feel like this is going off onto a tangent now.
No.
But it's like, I feel like dreams are almost like a premonition of the future.
I believe that.
So
I believe there's an element of a story trying to tell you something.
Yeah, it's definitely your subconscious trying to tell you something through like a thing, you know what I mean? I can't get the word.
A different realm or a different state.
But I also have so many theories to what dreams could be as well, because I believe there's a multiverse in it. Like there's multiverses in different universes of ourselves.
I believe that.
And if you believe in like time travel as well, then obviously you would know about butterfly effects and all of that stuff. So I feel like a dream is also you in a different realm or reality. And it's just basically your consciousness going into, or your consciousness linking with that consciousness.
And this is what I'm trying to say, because I feel, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole a little bit now. I hope you guys are ready. So I feel that when we go into sort of dream states, we are now activating parts of our pineal gland, the third eye that people talk about, that we don't know how to access. But when we go into a dream state, this is when it becomes activated, because it's resonating at the right frequency. So this is where I feel dreams are coming from, in a way where we're using our brains, because they say we only use 10% of our brains.
True.
And I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't think we have full access to our brains.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've been taught how to use our brains properly. For obvious reasons, which I'm not going to get into now, but I feel
I've got so many conspiracies on that. But, continue. Do continue.
Do you know what I mean? We're not so there's so many parts of our brains that we don't have access to or don't know how to use, and I feel like when we go into a dream, we're now using more percentage of our brains, and that's why we have a dream. And then, like you said, it's premonitions. It's kind of telling you or warning you or going to the 4th, 5th, 6th dimensions and how many different dimensions there are, or like you said, it could be going through back, showing you something from the past or the future, or just saying, because obviously people say that time is just a continuous continuum.
Yeah.
And it just goes, there is no past, present, future. It's just all one.
Yeah.
Which is like I said about time travel and stuff as well. Because you know when people talk about deja vu and they say, oh, I've seen you in a past life before, or I've seen this before. How?
I feel like you've probably dreamt it before and you forgot the dream.
This is
but
what
then
I'm
when
trying
it
to say.
happens in reality,
yeah.
then you're like, oh, I've lived this before. But you didn't live it before, but you had a dream of the future. So sometimes I feel like deja vu is probably a sign that you're on the right path. You're on the right track.
Of your destiny, basically.
Yeah,
it's trying to show you this is the path you're supposed to walk. It's an interesting theory. It's interesting for you because all these kind of things, I don't know why it's not spoken about at all. In my opinion, it's not spoken about enough. There's something going on there that needs more explanation.
Yeah,
how are we not looking into that in more detail is beyond me, in my opinion, because it's so interesting. I find that fascinating as well, that we can access like deja vu moments, dreams, premonitions, visions, but we're completely in our subconscious now. We're not conscious. We're out. But our minds are still developing images of what? Why? We don't know, truthfully. For me, I'm just like, that gives me the inclination that we are more than what we are.
100%.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? There's more to us that we don't know how to access. Like, we should be able to go into it now. Whilst we're conscious, we should be going into that kind of, we should know how to go into it and have these premonitions and dreams as we're conscious. You shouldn't have to wait till we go to the subconscious to then activate it, because we don't know when we're going to, you don't know if you're going to have a dream tonight.
No, you don't.
Or tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen. Wouldn't it be nice to have the power over your mental to be like, do you know what, I'm going to go into that state and I'm going to go into that vision or premonition and find out what's going to happen here or there or...
So then let me ask you a question. Do you know about lucid dreaming?
Yes.
Okay.
Where you can control your dreams. Yeah. One of my favorite films was Inception.
Yeah, I watched that the other day. You know,
it was one of my favorite films. I had the CD, I had the DVD of it, and there was 2 CDs in there. The second one was about lucid dreaming. It was all about how, you know, going into people's sleeps and going into, but you basically control your dream and you're now in control of it. And I was completely blown away. It was about 45, 50 minutes. You know, I definitely heavily advise watching it if you can get your hands on it. And it's just basically like the way they got the idea of the film through that documentary, and basically getting people to share dreams and sleep as well. And I was just like, this is blowing my mind right now. But it's possible.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so what else can we do? What else can we get into and get access to that we're now living life in a dream? So I could go into your sleep and we could be doing something completely different in a different entity, in a different dimension, but we're right here in this room physically. And then as you know in the films, there's layers. Yeah. So they have to get the kick to come back up through the layers. And if you go too far down, you get lost in limbo. Yeah. Which is basically when you're, a coma. It's basically a coma where you're not dead, but you've gone so far down that your conscious can't come back up. So that's what I think a coma is. That's when they say, oh, do you want us to pull the plug or keep you alive on the machine? Their physical body's here, but their conscious is no longer present. So I think about these things, I'm thinking, that's mad. Like, that's crazy when you really get into depths and deepness of it.
Well, this is a real deep one. This is only the first episode. We don't need to go this deep, my G.
Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Yeah.
One thing that you didn't touch on when I was asking you to describe who Kwinten is, what I wanted to say is, where I've known you for a long time, I feel like a few things that you missed out. You missed out. You're disciplined.
Yes.
You're a man of morals.
Yes.
And you're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So those 3 things I think are very key, and yet you left them out, bro.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's actually funny because I digress so easily, which is not a good thing. Yeah. So sometimes we'll be talking and I'll be thinking about something else and be like, oh yeah, let's go down this road. Yeah. And then we go down that road for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 20 minutes, and then it's just like, oh, where were we again? So yeah, let's bullet point this. So discipline. I would say I'm more disciplined now than what I used to be. I never used to be disciplined. So I used to be just free flowing, free spirit, doing whatever I wanted to do. Didn't really have a plan or a direction. And And the problem with that is it's good because you get to enjoy your younger days and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, it's always nice if you have direction of, do you want to go down this avenue? You might want to go down that avenue. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You kind of, because it can save you time. You don't know what you want to do when you're younger. No one does. But if you have people pointing you in the right direction, you might, do you know what I mean? You might find something sooner.
Do you feel like you found what you want to do with your life?
That's a serious question. I feel like I'm in the right area, and I'm now just finding the actual sweet spot.
Okay.
Of what I should be gravitating towards.
Okay.
I think there was many avenues that I could have gone down, and something definitely pushed me well away from that. And
interesting.
that is definitely like, for example, like the corporate industry. When I come out of uni, I went through so many different jobs. I was handing in resignations as though I was a multi-millionaire that I didn't need work or anything like that. I remember saying that it's just not for me. You know, I'm just not interested in sitting in basically it was like sitting in a large room of 30 people and all you could hear is the typewriters going. And like, basically imagine like a bell that goes at 5 o'clock and it's like, right, everyone's out, everyone gets their little coat. Everyone walks to the station. Everyone's just sat there silently reading the newspaper. I was like, this is like being in the Matrix. That's all I could think about. It was just being in the Matrix. That everybody was switched off. And I was just like, yeah, I'm scared.
There's a word for that now, you know. They call it NPCs.
NPCs, yeah.
Non-playable characters.
That's it.
Because they just basically will go through life and...
What's that film? Free Guy.
Yeah. You watched that one, yeah? You watched that?
I watched it recently, I watched Free Guy and I was like, yeah, this is actually sick. Cause it took a while to burn into it. I'm not going to digress, by the way. It took a while to it took a while to get into it and I was just like, this is actually making sense. The NPCs were like actually trying to get in the way.
And you know what's so crazy about the... Now I'm digressing, but do you know what's so crazy about the NPCs? If you wanted to relate it to real life, there's actually like people around you who are going to try and distract you from what you should be doing. Because you know there's more to life than what you're currently living.
Yes.
And you want to try and reach that goal where you feel a lot more freer.
Yeah.
You feel more like fulfilled with your life. But then there's people that want to hold you back and be like, don't you know that you're not allowed to do that? You shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing what we're all doing. Like,
that's right.
So yeah, but let's not digress.
Let's not digress.
Let's not.
Because this is how easy it is to digress and go down the wrong route.
So you're a man of discipline.
Man of discipline. What was the second one?
You're a man of morals.
Man of morals. Let's keep it moving. So man of morals. So I think it's important to follow life in principles. If you live by your morals, you know, I think every man has a code. I think women have a code as well. But if you live by good morals and decent morals, it will come back to you. You know, and I feel like it's fulfilling in that way as well because I know that I've done a good deed. Yeah. You know, I feel like everybody has a gift to give back to the world before our time is done. And I feel like living in good morals makes me feel happier in the way I'm conducting my life on this planet and how I'm treating other human beings as well. You know, if I feel like, do you know what, that's not the right thing to do or that is the right thing to do, no, I'm going to voice it out. I'm going to give my opinion or I'm going to say something or try and do something. Everyone's entitled to do something. Because at the end of the day, if I live by bad morals, I'll be like, I'm not really a decent person. Do you know what I mean? I don't really, I feel like I'm not deserving of whatever it is or the person or a friendship or family member or whatever, because it's just like, I'm being indecent. So therefore, why would someone want to be around that energy? I wouldn't want to be around that energy.
Yeah.
So why would I want to, do you know what I mean, give out bad morals to somebody else? Do you know? And people learn from one another. So if I'm trying to be like a decent moral guy, hopefully that might inspire somebody else to be decent. You know, okay, cool. Like, you know, he's living by decent morals and it's okay. You know, it's alright. I might want to live by decent morals as well. And it just kind of hopefully, you know, inspiration and sets off a chain reaction. And now you've got more and more people living with decent morals. It'd be a nicer world to live in. So I think,
I agree with that.
Do you know what I mean? I want to live in a way where, you know, if I met myself, I'd be like, this is a cool guy. You know, he's humble, he's down to earth, and he's just a pleasant guy to be around. Why would you not want to be around someone that's just cool and down to earth? You know, if you meet someone that's like, this guy's not a nice person to be around, like, you're going to stay away from that energy because you're just like, why would you want to be around that for? That's why I've always been like that, thinking, do you know what, I'm very open and decent person. However, as we talked about before, I'm not open until I get to know you.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see the decent morals. So just be real until you get to that level where it's like, yeah, do you know what? I can actually be myself around you because you can't trust people.
Do you know how I view that as well, right? So it's like, it's almost like someone's getting a reward by getting to know you.
It is. I like that.
That's how I view it.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. Because it's not like you're not being yourself,
No.
but you're not being your complete self until
Exactly.
someone has proven their worth.
And
I feel like everyone should be proving their worth to each other because we're all of value.
Exactly.
So it's like, if you really want to be, you know, if you want some of my value, then show me that you have value to give in return.
And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's being on your high horse or get your nose out of the clouds. You know, all these cliche sayings that people, I don't think there's nothing wrong with people saying, yeah, show me that you're worthy of this reward of my morals or my personality.
100%.
It's not being arrogant. It's just saying...
It's just having standards, literally. It's like, these are the requirements that I need for you to be in my life consistently.
This is it.
And if you want me to be myself around you, then these are the standards you have to meet.
And if you don't meet it, then we're not going to be around each other.
Simple
And
as
there's
that.
nothing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that because what happens is, as we talked about before, you start to get away all the NPCs, as we just talked about, that don't need to be there.
That's it.
You know, obviously, you know, every human being on this planet is, you know, I don't wish anything bad on anybody, but I'm just saying there's certain people that shouldn't be there, and they are holding you back. They are getting in the way, or they're not really deserving of the reward of your morals or your principles or being around them. Because why show your true self to someone that's just going to manipulate you or take you for granted? The amount of times that I've been actually nice to people and it's been thrown back in my face, probably a good couple times, which is more than enough in my books. A good couple times where I've been super nice. I'm just gonna say ex-girlfriends and leave it there. So we're gonna put we're gonna close that door with no whatever. Where I have been, do you know what I mean, like really nice and exposing and whatever, and it's just not gone. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, what? So what? This is what nice gets me. So that's when I started to just thought, right, let me just not expose myself so soon and get to know people in general, and then say, okay, cool, like I can be myself around you now because you show me your true colors. I feel comfortable around you. So yeah, that's definitely morals in my books.
And then moving on to the third one.
And then the third one,
you're an entrepreneur.
This one is a funny journey.
How did you get into it?
Trying to think of a short way of putting this together so it's not too long. But long story short, I remember always being into fashion, but never really having the money to be in fashion.
Okay.
So I never really was that kind of person that had money to go and buy clothes and I want to buy the latest trainers and all that kind of stuff. But I've always loved fashion. There was a bit of a joke after uni and someone applied with my picture to this modeling agency.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not told. Yeah. And the agency got back to me and was like, yeah, we want you to come in and have a little bit of a photo shoot. It's like, you know, like when you go in for a test shoot, they tell you to bring your stuff. Yeah. We're going to do 6 to 8 different looks, bring changed outfits, blah, blah, blah. So obviously I got excited. I was like, okay, cool. This is really cool. So I went there, did it, loved the experience. Didn't think I got very far with it, but I didn't care about that at the time. I was just like, that was so cool. Yeah. You know, I didn't even think I was going to get a phone call back or an email or anything. So what did I do? I applied again. So I applied to others myself this time, not as anybody else. Yeah. 4 out of 6 of them got back to me. So then I had 4 to go to. And then obviously I went to all 4. And then I think one of them said, oh yeah, we like you. You can do some stuff with H&M, Zara. What was the other one? Topshop at the time.
Oh, nice.
So there was a few. And then that's when it happened. So when I did it now, they had the pictures. They sat me down in the dark room. They put them up on their big screen. Yeah. I said, yeah, we like this look, this look, this look. This could do really well. We can get you an agent that knows what to do with your look, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, cool. And then the first thing that happened was they said, right, at the time, I had a big afro. So the first thing they said to me is, oh yeah, for your first shoot, we need you to take all your hair off. I was like, did you? No. Okay. I was like, that's not, I came in with this look. Yeah. So this is me obviously being stubborn because obviously that you need to have changes and looks. You do. For my first one, I was like, do you know how long it takes to grow an afro? Like, Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what.
Inconsiderate.
So I was like, no, not for the first shoot. Maybe after a while, but I thought, not for the first shoot. They're going to say, right. And I don't mean take it off as in like a haircut like what we got. I'm talking like they wanted skin.
Oh.
Like
bald.
Yeah. I was like, you were asking for a lot. So
are you getting paid for that though? Would they have paid you for that? This is the thing.
So they said that. But then what annoyed me was when I asked further, I said, okay, am I basically like what's going on with the payment sort of things? I said, right, you need to get your Z cards, your composite cards of your details and stuff. I said, okay, cool. And then they said, oh yeah, but you need to pay for it. So I said, but am I not going to pay it off? But this is where it happened. This is where it really sparked it off for me.
I've got a story for you.
So after. I said, oh, am I not going to get paid from obviously the work that I'm going to do? So the agent takes 20%. I take the 80%. You then put my stuff up on the website to model me basically for advertising for other shoots, for other brands. That was the whole point of it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's going to happen. But I said, so isn't that money from my first shoot you're asking me to do going to pay for all of this? So that's why I thought it was going to work. And she goes, oh, no, it doesn't work like that. So you pay for everything and then we get you the work. What did I do? I paid. Being naive, didn't know the industry, didn't know how it happened. This is in Oxford Circus, by the way.
Yeah.
This is actually... That
doesn't surprise me.
This is what I'm saying. This is in... Do you know what I'm saying? So when that happened, I was like, where's the jobs then? He said, oh, no, but the jobs hasn't come. But I said, you just said to me, an agent said that I needed to shave my hair off for the first job. So where's the other jobs? So then I can pay everything off. You said that this is how it works. So they hustled me basically, long story short. So I went to try and complain, went to different kind of like modeling sort of, I don't know even what to call it, to try and complain, to say like, this is what's happened. No response. So I said, okay, cool. I'm not doing that no more. That was the last time I went to any of those kind of things. And then I said to myself, do you know what I'm going to do? I say what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my own thing. Yeah. And that's where it really started to come together. I said, I'm going to do my own thing. There'll be 30 shoots where I could do it properly. I can set this up properly. I can do everything how it's intended to be with no small print, with no snaky behavior, basically. And like I said, I like to be real and be with decent morals. Like, why treat people like that for?
That's it.
You knew I didn't know what I was doing. You knew I didn't know what I was talking about, but you hustled me anyway. Yeah. Did you really feel good about that?
They don't give a damn.
This is what I'm trying to say, bro. But at the time, I was really like, I'm one of them people like, why would you do that to somebody? Like, I was really like sensitive. Like, what was that about? Like, you knew that I was actually really excited about it, and you just blew that up in my face.
For all they knew, you could have been like the next big thing that they could have got their hands on.
But that's what I'm saying. But they didn't take chances, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to take chances on people.
Most people aren't here for a chance, bro. They're just here for the bag. And it's just quick money.
And that's when I learned quickly about how the world works. Yeah. This is literally just after uni, and I was like, right, this is how it is. Like, it's dog eat dog out here, and it's all about money. And as much as you want to be that nice, decent person, you have to be a bit dirty in this world. You have to be ruthless. You have to. But you're not going to survive in this world. You're not going to survive. And it's a horrible reality thing to say. Is if you're too nice, that saying, nice guys finish
last.
And I didn't understand that saying. And that was on that film, The Mask, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, she wasn't really in love with the character that Jim Carrey was playing. She was in love with the mask.
This is what I'm saying.
And the person that he was, because he was like dangerous, adventurous. He was macho. He was manly. Like, you know what I mean?
And he wasn't a good person.
Yeah.
But Jim Carrey, without the mask, was a good person with decent morals. I remember that film. Like, I watched that film so many times, The Mask. But that's where I got the saying from. And I was like, yeah, this is what it means. Nice guys finish last.
Bro, this is going to go off on a tangent. Sorry, I have to ask you this question because I don't know, you might be the exact same, so I'm going to tell you what I do, and obviously if you do the same, just tell me. But it's like, when I watch movies or TV shows, I really watch it on an in-depth like level, and I'm like, because I'm sure you've heard the saying, like, art portrays life, but life also portrays art.
Yeah.
So I always look at movies, TV shows, and I'm like, okay, so cool. Let's just take Power, for example, yeah. And cool, Ghost. I'm like, who in my life has these type of character traits? Because this is based on a real person.
It is.
This isn't just made up. Nah. There's actual people out there that are like this character. Who can go from husband and businessman and then switch to gangster mode and ready to attack anybody that like disrespects them.
Yeah.
There's people out there like that. So now I'm thinking, cool, who's
who's like that and is ready to snake their closest friend for a girl they grew up with in high school? I'll proper like look at things like that.
Yeah, for real.
But it's like art imitates life and life imitates art. So I always expect, if I watch something, I'm like, okay, cool. Something like this could happen in reality, and it's very possible that it can happen.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch like reality TV, because it will just ruin my mind too much. It takes away the effect of like, oh, it's just a story that someone made up.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if I watch reality TV, because I remember I was watching was it Love is Blind?
That's one of them.
It was one of them that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was the one where they're not allowed to have sex with each other on a beach or whatever. I can't remember what the name is, but it's like I was watching one of these like dating reality TV shows, and I saw how one of the women were treating the guys, one of the guys, and then I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I did not know women could be this ruthless.
Oh yeah. It shows you the intel of how it could actually be.
Yeah.
And it's on TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I looked at it and I was like, okay, what women do I know around me who could possibly be like this? Because I have to defend myself now. Bro, I don't know. Do you do the same? Or
I do the same. I get a lot from, but the thing is as well, obviously, as you know, you got to be careful with TV shows and programs, but you can't help it. You do watch these things and think, oh, like, you got to watch out for this kind of guy.
Yeah.
Or that kind of woman, or that kind of scenario that's played out in the film, and you're thinking, oh, if I get myself into that scenario, I know what to do. Like, for example, it's like every gangster film. It's like, I've always said, oh, if I ever did anything like this, I know when to exit the game.
Yeah.
The truth is, you don't.
You don't, yeah.
You never do. But I think you think you know it because you watch so many films. This is what I would do in this scenario. This is what I would do in that. But it's you got to read between the lines. So I see things like, obviously, I know you talked about reality TV. I talked about The Mask and all these different things. It's like you kind of shape something out of it where it's like, just watch out for that scenario because that is based off something that's obviously real. Yeah. As you said, you don't want it to mess up your brain as well because it gets in there. And that's what it's kind of designed to do, to get into your subconscious. So you're now thinking about these things.
That's why it's called TV program. It's programming.
This is it.
I don't want to get into the conspiracies way too early because I want to be able to build like, because you know them ones when you talk too much, they start blocking you. So I know. That's why I'm keeping my mouth shut on the conspiracies. But yeah, it's called programming for a reason. On top of that, you allow yourself to be programmed by these things. Otherwise you wouldn't take it in.
And that's why reality TV is so popular, because everyone's watching how people would be, but they know they're on TV. Yeah. So are they really like that? They wouldn't be like that if they wasn't on TV.
Some of them are, but also some of them are just over exaggerating their personality because they know it's entertaining. Of
course it is.
And that's probably what sells and will get people to like them more. And the more attention you have, the more you can monetize off of it.
That's
and then
it.
The more money you have in your pocket, the more you actually just become an idiot in real life anyway.
And this is what I'm trying to say. So you literally just said in a nice nutshell exactly what goes on. Yeah. I'm not saying that the characteristics isn't true on there, but it's definitely amplified. Definitely amplified.
There are some nice people on reality TV though. Like, I don't want to discredit the good ones and just say they're all bad.
Yeah, of course.
But I try my hardest to stay away from reality TV. Anything to do with like Kardashians or
I don't watch it. The last one that I watched was Big Brother.
Which one was that?
One of the very
when was that?
This is years ago when Davina used to host. Oh, this is the first proper time.
This was when it was all first started.
Yeah, that's when reality TV was starting to get a big thing. After that was the first and last thing that I ever watched. Reality TV. That's not for me. It's not my thing. It's not my thing.
So we still haven't really touched on your entrepreneurship. Because obviously you're wearing your own brand today.
I am. Keep on digressing. That's what keeps happening.
I know.
So many.
I wanted to digress again because, bro. I want to touch on your brand, but I just wanted to say as well because off camera, I did say to you that I had a revelation.
Yes.
And I noticed that me and you think very similarly because we do not really disagree on anything like ever.
Not really, no.
I don't think we've had one like disagreement. Like if I've said something, you're like, yeah, do you know what? I agree with that as well, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, because it's like I'm trying to like think in my brain, how can I like pick apart your brain and try and find something I could debate against with a different like opposing opinion. But then majority of the stuff that comes out your mouth, I agree with.
But the thing is, this is why it's so difficult though, because this is why we kind of connected in the first place, because you've always been yourself. Yeah. I've always been myself. Yeah. And it's always been in sync. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's never been a point where it's been like, oh, I strongly disagree with what you're saying. Yeah. Or you strongly disagree with what I'm saying. It's never happened. Yeah. Because that's not how we kind of come across in the same room at that time.
That's true.
So you'd think after a certain time, okay, cool, you can start to see how things are starting to go and peel this way, that's going to peel that way. But really and truly, it's just kind of stayed the same. And that's the thing. And this is what we were talking about before, about sometimes you just meet certain energies that will always be positive. And sometimes energies go positive and negative, or it repels each other.
Yeah, of course.
That's just how it goes. So I've never been into a point where I was like, oh, I really strongly disagreed with this with you or something to me.
Yeah.
And there's only a handful of people I can say where it's been like that.
It's interesting.
So it is interesting. It is, because you'll meet people that you've known for 15 years. Yeah. And it's been different.
True.
Or you meet someone that's for 2 years and say, oh yeah, I feel like I've known you all my life. How many times have you had someone say that? Like, oh, I met you yesterday and I feel like I've known you for 10 years. It's energies. It's nothing to do with how long you've known somebody. It's kind of just, oh, we're on the same frequency. We're in the same level. We understand each other. So it doesn't matter if there's been like 20 years there or not. I'm not saying obviously tomorrow you're going to know somebody, but I'm just saying in general, generally speaking, after a few conversations, a little bit of time, you think, oh yeah, do you know, we think the same. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We're going in the same direction. Shit, I'm trying to say.
Very interesting. I think that's why you're one of my closest friends for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think that's why you're one of my closest friends.
Because what I like as well is, again, handful of people is where it's like, for example, we don't see each other every day.
No.
We might
but
see
the energy is always the same regardless.
And that's what I look for. Yeah. I look for that because we live in the real world. We're not going to see each other all the time. We're not going to be around all the time. But
and you only live down the road as
I only live down. That's what I'm trying to say. You only live down the road. But it's not one of those kind of things where it's like, oh, you know, you get really upset when, oh, I haven't seen you for a while. Life is busy. Things are going on. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day, it's like if someone can't comprehend that, I do look at that sometimes and I think, oh, okay, you know, we're not going to be able to do that all the time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Every now and again it's cool, as long as you still factor in each other's time, which I think is important. Of course. That's cool. But what you can't do is every day or every week or every month. Do you know what I mean? It's sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, you're two different human beings. And we're both men as well. So at the end of the day, men have to do what they have to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
We're both trying to get somewhere.
Trying to get somewhere.
We can't get to where we need to get to if we're always just like hanging out together.
And that's
because that time spent hanging out together is the time we should really be spending on bettering ourselves and getting to where we need to be.
And then it could be coming back saying, oh, do you know what? I've gone down this road and I found this.
Yeah.
You've gone down that road and you found that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how can we use our different roads that we've gone down?
Yeah.
And you're going to be much further ahead, like you said, rather than spending time together and just, oh, what are we going to do today? And, oh, I want to do this.
Also, just to touch on that as well, like, don't you feel it feels so much better when you haven't seen someone in a long time and then you have like an accomplishment you can bring to them and be like, well, I haven't seen you in the last maybe like 3 weeks. Within those 3 weeks, I've got this done, that done, and this done. I've sorted out a routine for my gym schedule. I'm eating healthier now. I've lost maybe a couple pounds of weight.
Listen, and that's what I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to say, because at the end of the day, I'm actually, again, not going to digress. I know you said something very specific about the clothing and the brand.
Well, we're going to touch on that.
But what I did want to say is, this is what you find when you are alone. You find yourself. You find what you're looking for and what you want to work on. If you're always around somebody and you're always being busied by somebody, your consciousness is never going to be clear. What do I want to get achieved today? Not what your friends, girlfriend, mom, dad, brother, whoever. What do I want to do today? I'm going to wake up this morning and what do I want to do? And you need that time. So when you do come across your companions again, oh yeah, do you know what? It's nice. How have you been? What have you been up to? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then you can go into that sort of social mode, as I call it, where you can now be sociable and relax. Your soul will never rest if you was constantly in company and you're thinking, I've got so many things to do. You'll be itching to get away from people because you're like, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And that's only you that's going to understand that because it's your pathway of what you're supposed to be doing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've been around people before. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I've been around people for the last 3 days. I now want to be alone. I don't want to be disturbed by any more people. Not because you don't want to be around people, but it's because you got things that you want to do.
That's it.
Do you know what I'm saying? That you need to be by yourself. You need your own space. Imagine me being on here every morning when you come in to do what you need to do. You'd be like, bro, you need to go home. You need to go home now.
No, do you know what? Yeah, I'm the type of person where I don't mind people being in my space while I'm working.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
but don't just be there being idle. If you're gonna be around me while I'm working, you have to be working as well.
Okay,
because if you're not working, then I feel like I have to entertain you while I'm working.
This is what,
and that makes me now not work because now the work is entertaining the person.
And this is you got it spot on. I'm telling you now, you got it spot on because some people don't understand that. Some people feel like, oh, you're trying to get on with your thing. You don't want to talk to me. You're ignoring me. You don't want to be there. Blah 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 blah. But so no, I've got things to do. So if you want to be around me, you need to have things to do.
Sorry to cut you, but just to touch on that as well, because obviously, like, this is going off on another tangent. But it's like, because where I make music, there's a lot of people that are around me, men and women, where they're like, oh, I want to come down to your studio sessions one day and I want to be in the studio with you and chill with you and watch you make music. No. There's no watching making music. No. I don't play that game. This is my profession. I take my craft very seriously. So it's like when I'm in my space, I'm in my space.
This is what I'm
if
saying.
you happen to catch me while I'm in my space, then that's what you do. But I'm not gonna arrange a time for you to come and watch me do my work.
This is what I'm saying.
Because that's just not how I operate. And everything is just spur of the moment as well. So it's like later on, maybe in the night, like maybe 2 a.m. or something, I might get a feel to just lay down a melody. So what, I must now call you and be like, oh yeah, come through, man, I'm about to... No, G. Nah, man.
That's my point. You need to do things on your own accord.
That's it.
You can't be around people all the time. You can't.
That's it. If I'm sitting down making music, you have to be either doing your own work that you got going on, or you have to be contributing to the session. Otherwise, you don't need to be in a room. Leave me alone. Let me work. Let me do my thing.
This is what I'm saying.
That's it.
And that's the point I'm making as well. So that's why, like you said, it's nice. Obviously, like, okay, cool. I'm not working. I'm not doing anything. I can be social now. I can be in that space of, oh, you know, let me think about somebody else other than me. Do you know what I mean? How are you doing? How have you been? How's family? How's this? How's that? How's that? But then when it's constant, it's all the time. It's like, no, I need to have my time now. I need to do my thing. Fair few people understand that, which is why me and you will always be close. Yeah. Whereas people that you probably know that you thought were really close, and you be like, every time you're trying to do something, they always feel like you're ignoring them. And you're neglecting them, men or women, whatever. August doesn't want to be around me, and August is selfish, or no. I got things to do. You have things to do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You can't be around this environment all the time. It's not your environment. It's not your pathway. What's your pathway? What road are you supposed to be walking down? Because everybody has different roads. Do you know what I'm saying? So when everyone's trying to be on the same road, you're going to get lost because that's not the path. When you're alone, you find your pathway. And I believe in that as well. You do find because you can hear your own voice. That's it. You can hear yourself speak.
I think a lot of people, sorry to cut you, but a lot of people are very scared.
They are.
They don't want to be alone. Voice. Yeah,
they don't want to. A lot of people.
They don't actually want to find themselves.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people actually don't like. I've heard people before. When it comes to being alone, they put the TV on for background noise. I need the fan on. I'm hot. They need something to keep them distracted. Have you ever just sat there in silence and just listened to yourself and hear that inner voice suddenly speak to you like, you suddenly know what you want to do. You actually have time to think clearly without any distraction. And then you start going after it, and then it feels right because you now know, actually, this is actually what I want to do with zero influence. No social media, no TV, no sounds, no nothing, where you're actually just like, what do I actually want to do? So yeah, that's the last one I'll say before I digress again. But trust me, it's worth it.
Let's getting back into the entrepreneurship that you engage in.
Yeah.
So obviously you're wearing your own clothes.
Yeah, wearing the loungewear.
So please, let's talk about that.
Thank you. No, so wearing the loungewear, the khaki. There's obviously the burgundy.
I've got the burgundy
which
one.
You know as well. Yeah, and the black one. There is new stuff coming out as well. I know it's been a long time coming.
You do hats as well.
Hats as well.
Do you still do the hoodies?
No. So what's going to happen with the hoodies?
They sold out, yeah?
It's sold out.
My guy!
But
my guy, come on. Round of applause for the sold out hoodies. Come on.
But what I want to do is I want to bring out some more fresh material. But I want to do it on a level where I've really pushed myself. Do you understand? I want to do something now where it's really unique. Something where it really is a standpoint and something that I can really be like, yeah, do you know what I'm really proud of? Because it's artwork to me, do you know what I mean? It's something that I really want to look at it and be proud of something. Because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I've always known I wanted to do this. I didn't, do you know what I'm trying to say? It kind of fell into my hands. Do you know what I mean? My mum was always making clothes. So it's kind of like an accidental thing, but I've got a passion for it and I enjoy it. And who doesn't like to look good? You know, who doesn't want to feel comfortable while they look good? There's just certain things that I've always wanted to do, and I know this is one of the things I wanted to do. I think it's nice to now get to the point where it's like, as I keep saying, life is short. You need to do the things that you want to do. So there's other different accessories, even talks of footwear, maybe.
Nice.
Something different.
Nice.
So I haven't said too much about that because it's very difficult and it's very, you know, how that market is.
Of course.
There's a few things I've looked at. I am interested. And I think that might be very different to what what people see all the time, because it's always like a no-go area, like no, unless you're LeBron James or Michael Jordan. So I'm trying to say that you shouldn't touch it. But who should be the one to tell you what to do in this world?
100%.
Why should someone else or something put you off? That's just what I think. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what you're capable of until you do it.
100%.
And I think that, again, that's another moral that I'm talking about. Just go, what are we going to lose? What have we got to lose? When you really think about it.
Absolutely nothing at the end of the day.
Because this is what Steve Jobs, again, I was listening to Steve Jobs earlier today, this morning, and he was just saying, at the end of the day, the one thing that's certain is death. So if you know that's a certainty, why are you here picking and choosing and wasting time over things where you just don't know what could happen? And I just thought to myself, yeah, that's really, really true, because we're all going to die at some point. Not to be kind of sinister in this last part, but just that is one truth that we all know is going to happen.
Of course.
So why are you waiting, and why are you worried about what other people think? No one's worried about you when you're in your grave or when you're incinerated and you're incarcerated. No one cares. So why care now? So I just thought, you know them things when you hear it just slaps you across the face. You pause, you stop what you're doing, and you literally think, yeah, do you know what? That is so true. You have no objections to what you just had. I've got no objections to that. Death is when you just don't know, but it's coming for everybody that you know, and everybody in the past and everybody in the future. It's coming at some point. So you just need to get on with what you want to that and just don't worry about it. And
I've got a question. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, no. I've
got a question. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that think like you and they want to get started in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's looking to get into fashion? How do they go about it? What's a good place to start at?
I would say, and I know it sounds really cliche, I would say literally whatever you're thinking to do, whatever comes to your mind, because I feel like same thing with it's funny because obviously I was really into my music before fashion. That's
I remember when I first met you were a music manager.
Yeah, as a music. So I was. So this is what I'm saying.
You managed me as well at one point for a little piece. Yeah.
So that was my first real love.
Yeah.
Before that, I mean, but I knew fashion was always there. But that's something. And even with then, I always said with anything artistic, it's an art piece. So whatever picture you see painted in your mind, go for it. Whatever design you see, whatever look, style of men or women's clothing or whatever you see, don't try to fit in with the narrative because it's already been done. Do something different. Do something that's going to inspire people and do something where you're gonna leave something behind long after you're gone. There's so many different brands out there.
So it's interesting that you say that, yeah. So because then my question to that would be, how does one go about finding something that's different?
That's the hard part. That is actually the hard part because, again, going back to what we were talking about earlier about dreams and stuff, you've only seen so many ideas. So it's actually, they say it's nearly impossible to come up with new ideas. You can make alterations.
It's very hard to be original
This
nowadays.
is what I'm saying. You can make alterations of something, but to come up with something original is probably the hardest thing to do, which is why when something original comes along once in the blue moon, it blows up. Because it's quite rare now to come up with something that's just so out there. And it's also trending. So
just to interject here.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name for your brand?
So the name for my brand, I've always wanted to have something far left, to be very honest. Something that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I was told maybe you shouldn't do something like that because people are not going to understand. So I already had people kind to, as we said, NPCs, trying to tell you what you can and can't do and what you should and shouldn't do. So I was like, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, I want something that also says basically knowledge in layman's terms, but in something different. Then that's basically what I wanted it to be. So when I saw the name, for me, it looked right. I didn't even really know how to say it properly because obviously it's a South African,
dialect,
language.
Yeah.
And I can't roll my tongue. I can't do those kind of things. So I'm not even saying it right myself.
Yeah.
But when I looked at the words and the symbol, it made sense. This is what I mean by when you feel something is right and it looks right to you, sometimes you have to go with your intuition. Interesting. Because you just know that, I'm going to look at this forever and know that I didn't make the mistake. I didn't just take something that was generic and went. If I went with the word knowledge, I'd be disappointed now. Do you know what I mean? If I look back at that word, I'd be like, that's not original. That's not. It sounds like an IT company. Do you know what I mean? It sounds something that's not what I wanted it to be. And sometimes having something that you want it to be, there's a reward in that's just intrinsic. That's not even what money can't even buy, and it's just something where it's like, I will always love what I've done, my work, because it's your life work. This is what it is. It's your life work. What is your life work? And it's something that I can look back on and I'd be like, I'm proud of what I did. No matter how big, no matter how small or how wide. Man. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be proud of what you did.
100%.
So at the end of the day, if you're not proud of it, what's the point doing it? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's something where I can look back and be like, I love what I did and I'll do it all over again. I'll do it all over again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing where it's like, I'll do it all over again. Nothing will sway me off that. All the late nights, the early mornings, the things that's gone wrong, the procrastinations, the stress, everything, you do it all over again because it's something that's like, this is something that I'm dedicating my life towards.
I think this is kind of why they say the happiness isn't within the end goal. The happiness is within the journey.
I agree with that. I've heard
because
that in different.
I'm paraphrasing. I'm pretty sure it's not that word for word.
I don't know.
However, but it's that sentiment. Yeah. So it's we all want to be millionaires. I don't know about all of us, but I know me and you want to be millionaires. So, but the thing is, once we get our first million, we're not going to be happy. We're not going to be content. We're then going to want 10 million.
Ambition.
Once we hit 10 million, we're going to want 100 million. But the beauty of it is the journey that it's going to take to get to that next goal.
And it's always continuous.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. That's where you're going to be at your happiest. You're going to struggle and you're going to have to suffer. You're going to have to sacrifice. And you're going to get a bit agitated and pissed off with certain things when they don't go your way. But when you actually start looking back and you're realizing, okay, I was here before. Yeah. Now I'm here.
This is it.
So I have to be grateful for everything that happened in between those 2 points.
Every step.
Because it's what made me a better person, made me a better man, made me wiser, made me more understanding. This is it. So the happiness is within the journey, not the end goal.
It is. And this is what they all say as well, is the moment you get to the finish line is the moment that you stop. Yeah. And nothing else happens after that. And they basically say that you could literally pass away in that moment because you might as well be dead. You're a dead man or a dead woman living. And
sorry, I have to cut you. Sorry. There's something that just came into my mind that my manager always says to me. Yeah. In music industry terms, but I would say this kind of goes across the whole everything. Yeah. You're only as good as your last.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Because after that, what else you got to show?
That's it.
And like I said, this is a life work. You got to love what you do. Just because you reach a goal, now what? You got to set another goal.
That's it.
And you got to keep going because life is ongoing.
100%.
The only time you stop is when you're dead. That is actually the truth. There's always something else to work on. And I think that's the beauty of life. That is, in my opinion, I'm not saying I've found the secret of life, but in my opinion, if I was going to get anything close to that answer, it's always have something to work on. When you're 10, 20, 30, 40. When you retire, everyone thinks, oh, I'm just going to sit back or I'm going to go do that. No, go travel the world. Go find another project. Go do something else that keeps you busy. So you're always working on something, because then when you switch off is the moment you, now what? Why are you switching off for? Because there's still more life to give. Still more to do. And I'm an advocate of that. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Yeah. So I'm always going to be doing something. No matter when I get older, I'm still going to be going to the gym. I might not be doing what I'm doing now, obviously, but I'm still going to be there. Still going to do the things. Okay, all right, you know, in my 50s, 60s now. Maybe I'm a bit slower, a bit older and everything, but I'm still going to be doing the things I want to do. Yeah, I'm not just going to end up sitting there and sitting in a rocking chair. And, do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm just not that person. I don't think I'm ever going to be that person. But that's the beauty of life, is that it's the process. Always the process. Enjoy the hustle, enjoy the struggles, learn from it as well.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Do you know what? There's I'm definitely paraphrasing because I cannot remember this word for word. My memory is not that great. But you know the actor Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
So there's like a speech he gave where it's like his superhero, his role model is him 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. He in his present moment is never gonna be as great as that person is. So that's the person that he wants to chase and try and be like.
That's it.
And that also leads back to an interesting thing that I said to one of my friends, because he's trying to become more disciplined, just like me and you. So he obviously asked me, like, how do I remove these things from my life so that I can become a little bit more disciplined? And I just kind of, you know me, I'm like, I do like the harsh love, innit? I do tough love. I don't do that whole soft stuff. So I don't know why you're asking me. You already know what the answers are. You're just looking for someone to basically validate the answers for you.
That's it.
But you know what you're supposed to do.
That's it.
Anything in your life that is maybe like a little bit of degeneracy, alcohol, weed, anything that might be a hindrance to your progress, you need to get rid of that. I said to him, think about the man you're going to be, or you want to be, in 10 years.
This is it.
Is he going to be engaging in the things that you're currently engaging in? And if not, cut them out.
You have to think very futuristic, and I know you can get lost in that source sometimes.
Of course, because it's very easy to do that.
And you have to live in the present as well. That's something that's a harsh truth I had to learn as well.
Same.
But you do have to think, okay, in 10 years' time, what do you want for yourself? How do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Because when you start thinking like that, that's when you start making real changes now. Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe, you know, in 10 years' time or 20 years' time, I want to be X, Y, and Z, and I need to make these changes now, or otherwise I'm not going to get there. And then what happens in 10 years' time? Where do I want to be in 10 years' time? Just keep going. Keep going, and you keep chasing, because you're never going to get there, which is what he was saying, which is true. You're always going to be moving the goalposts. Yeah. But that's the secret of life.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to. It keeps you hungry.
That's how you evolve.
That's how you keep going. If you had nothing to chase, what's the point? What's the point being alive?
Bro, it's like if you think about every great nation that ruled in the world, they never just stayed content with only conquering just this one place and ruling just this one place. That's why it's, bro, it's like, imagine the Roman Empire, if they just stayed in Rome.
But this is it.
If they didn't have the desire to continue conquering as much as they could, bro,
we wouldn't be talking about them today.
That's what I'm saying.
When certain things happen, you just wouldn't be talking about it, because, you know, all right, conquering is not the greatest thing to do, and, you know, we know all the history and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
However, when you actually look at the fundamentals of it, is they set a legacy. Yeah. Because we're talking about it today. If you're talking about anything that's happened in the past, they set a legacy no matter how big or small. And that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. That's what people are trying to do, is set a legacy where it's like, when I'm gone, my name will be remembered, not just blown away in the wind. and you just need to decide on what you want to be remembered for. And I think that's what makes a difference. And that's where, like I said, where the morals come in. Like, I want to be remembered for the good things and the right things. Where people think of your name and think, oh, they think highly of you and they hold you on a pedestal and set an example. Because, yeah, you could be remembered for the wrong things. But I wouldn't want that, to be remembered for the wrong things and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, you have a choice now of what you want to do. Everyone's leaving a legacy. It's just, will your legacy be known? Yeah. Or will it be the loss of thousands, millions of other people that never set their foot off the boat? They never stepped on the field, as they say. They stayed in the stands. They didn't get on the pitch. They didn't take a shot.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Exactly. So when you think, and the thing is, it's so funny because you almost know these quotes off by heart. Yeah, they're not exactly original copies of the quote, but they're all the same thing. But when you think about it, it takes all your fear away of, oh, is it going to be accepted? Are people going to like it? And is it going to be receptive and received well? You start realizing, you know what, I'm going to go and do what I need to do anyway because this is what I want to do. Because if you don't take a shot, you're forever going to be pondering on whether to take a shot or not.
My brother.
Anyway, trust me.
Hey, thank you for coming today, bro. That was a really good conversation. That was really good, man. It was really good, bro.
Love. You know you can get carried away.
Man. Thank you for coming and doing this for me, bro. I appreciate that. And obviously, they're all going to follow you on your journey now because I think they have a great understanding of who you are and what you represent and why you do what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate
I appreciate you coming through for man and helping me out with this still.
Always.
My first episode.
I appreciate it and I feel special as well, so I appreciate it.
Love, my brother. Thank you.
Love.